The door slammed shut behind Rue with a finality that echoed through her soul, her father's voice thundering. "You're no daughter of mine if you choose this path." She stood on the rain-slicked porch of their Connecticut home. Backpack slung over one shoulder, the weight of rejection crushing her chest like a vice. In that moment, the girl who had dreamed of family barbecues and holiday lights shattered into 1,000 pieces, wondering if love was worth this exile. Rue gripped the steering wheel of her beat-up Honda Civic, the engine humming faintly as she crossed the state line into Connecticut. It had been 10 years since that stormy night, 10 years of scraping by in New York City, building a life from the ruins of her family's disdain. The call from her sister, Emily, had come unexpectedly, a terse voicemail about their father's passing and the reading of the will. "You should come," Emily had said, her voice laced with something Rue couldn't quite place, pity perhaps or obligation. But Rue felt a storm brewing inside her, a mix of grief she hadn't anticipated and a resentment that had festered like an open wound. "Why now?" she thought, staring at the blurred highway lines. "Dad never reached out, never apologized for throwing me out like yesterday's trash. I was 18 confessing my love for Sarah, and he called it a sin, a phase, anything but real." The memory clawed at her. His face twisted in rage, Mom silent in the corner, tears streaming but no words of defense. Emily, her younger sister by 2 years, had watched from the stairs wide-eyed but mute. Rue had begged for understanding, but the door closed and with it her world. Pulling into the driveway of the old colonial house in Fairfield, Rue's heart pounded. The place looked unchanged, white picket fence, manicured lawn. The swing on the porch where she'd kissed Sarah under the stars that fateful summer. Sarah, her first love, the girl from next door who'd made her feel seen, alive. But that love had cost her everything. Now, stepping out of the car, Rue straightened her leather jacket, her short-cropped hair tousled from the drive. She wasn't the scared teen anymore. She was a graphic designer, independent, with a circle of friends who accepted her wholly. Yet the house loomed like a ghost, whispering doubts. Emily opened the door before Rue could knock, her face a mask of forced composure. "Rue," she said, pulling her into a stiff hug. "I'm glad you came. Mom's inside with the lawyer." "No warmth, just duty." Rue nodded, stepping into the foyer where family photos still hung. Everyone but her, airbrushed out of existence. The ache hit hard. Am I really here? Or is this some cruel joke? Mom sat at the dining table, frail and graying, avoiding eye contact. The lawyer, Mr. Hargrove, shuffled papers, his glasses perched on his nose. "We appreciate your presence, Miss Thompson," he began, clearing his throat. The will was straightforward. The house to Mom, savings split between Emily and her brother Jack, who wasn't there, off in California, estranged for his own reasons. Rue's name wasn't mentioned. Of course not, she thought bitterly. Why would it be? But as the reading wrapped, Emily fidgeted, glancing at Mom. "There's something else," Emily whispered after Hargrove left. "In Dad's study. He hid something." Curiosity battled her urge to flee. Rue followed Emily upstairs, the creaking stairs echoing her inner turmoil. In the study, bookshelves lined with Dad's law tomes, Emily pulled out a false panel behind a painting. Inside, a locked box. "He told me about it last year," Emily confessed, handing over a key. "Said it was for emergencies." Rue's hands trembled as she opened it. Letters, photos, and a sealed envelope marked for Ruiandra. Tearing it open, Rue read the words in Dad's precise handwriting. "My dearest Rue, if you're reading this, I've failed you in ways I can't forgive myself for." Her breath caught. It was a hidden will, dated 5 years ago, bequeathing a significant trust fund to her, enough to change her life. But why hide it? The letter continued. "I was wrong. Your love is as valid as any. I couldn't face the family, but this is my amends." Tears blurred the page. Dad had regretted it? The revelation spun her world. Forgiveness she never sought, now thrust upon her. Yet doubt crept in. Why not tell me sooner? Was this guilt or genuine change? Emily watched her, eyes narrowing slightly. "He changed, Rue. After you left, he read books, talked to therapists. But Mom, she didn't want to stir things up." Rue's mind raced. Stir things up? I was the one stirred out of my home. The inner conflict raged. Gratitude mixed with fury. Love for a father long lost clashing with the pain he'd inflicted. That night, Rue stayed in her old room, the walls closing in. Memories flooded. Sneaking Sarah in through the window, whispers of forever that ended in heartbreak. Sarah had moved on, married a man, or so Rue heard. But the will stirred something deeper, a question of belonging. Did this mean she could reclaim her place? Or was it too late? As sleep evaded her, Rue whispered to the darkness, "Dad, why now? Why leave me this ghost of what could have been?" The next morning, coffee in hand, Rue confronted Mom. "Why hide this?" Mom's eyes filled with tears. "He was ashamed, Rue. We all were at first. But he loved you." "Loved me?" The word stung. "Love doesn't kick you out," Rue retorted, voice cracking. Emily intervened. "Let's not fight. This could bring us together." But Rue saw the flicker in Emily's eyes. Envy? The trust fund was substantial, more than Emily's share. Was this the start of new rifts? Rue decided to stay a few days, sorting through Dad's things. In the attic, she found old letters from Sarah, hidden away. One read, "Rue, your dad saw us. I'm scared." The pain resurfaced. Sarah had chosen safety over love, leaving Rue to face the storm alone. Now with the will, Rue wondered if she could forgive. Not just Dad, but herself for hiding her truth for so long. As days passed, tension simmered. Jack arrived, boisterous and oblivious. "Hey sis, heard about the secret stash. Lucky you." But Emily's smiles were tight, her comments laced with barbs. "Must be nice getting a do-over." Rue's inner voice screamed, "Is this family? Or a battlefield?" The drama unfolded subtly. A missed dinner, whispered arguments. Yet amid the chaos, Rue felt a pull toward healing. Maybe this was Dad's final gift, forcing them to face the fractures. By the end of the week, Rue sat on the porch swing, the will in her lap. The sun set in hues of orange, and she thought, perhaps forgiveness isn't for them. It's for me. But the path ahead loomed uncertain, filled with unspoken betrayals waiting to surface. Rue couldn't shake the unease settling in her gut like lead. The hidden will felt like a Pandora's box, unleashing not just money but a torrent of buried emotions. Why had Dad concealed it? Was it fear of Mom's judgment, or something more sinister? As she rifled through his desk drawers searching for clues, her mind wandered to the what-ifs. What if he'd called me back? What if I'd fought harder to stay? The self-doubt gnawed at her, a constant whisper that she wasn't worthy of this redemption. Emily hovered nearby, pretending to organize files but watching Rue like a hawk. "Find anything interesting?" she asked, her tone casual but edged. Rue paused, holding a faded photo of the four of them at a beach vacation, smiles frozen in time, before her coming out shattered the illusion. "Just memories," Rue replied, but inside turmoil brewed. "Emily, you were my ally once. Why do you look at me like I'm stealing something?" That afternoon, Mom suggested a family lunch at the local diner. A place steeped in nostalgia, milkshakes and burgers where Dad used to take them after soccer games. Jack cracked jokes, trying to lighten the mood, but the air was thick with unsaid words. "So Rue, what are you gonna do with the cash?" Jack asked, winking. Rue forced a smile. "Haven't thought about it." But she had dreams of starting a non-profit for LGBTQ youth, turning pain into purpose. Yet, sharing that felt vulnerable, like exposing her heart to potential knives. As plates clattered, Emily leaned in. "Dad must have felt guilty. He mentioned you a lot toward the end." Rue's fork paused midair. "Guilty?" The word ignited a fire. Guilty implies wrongdoing, but does it erase the years I spent alone, rebuilding from scratch? Mom nodded. "He did change, honey. After you left, he volunteered at a community center, learned about your community. Your community like it's separate from ours." Rue's inner monologue raged. "They act like it's a phase he outgrew, but it was my life he rejected." Back home, Rue escaped to the backyard, the oak tree where she'd carved her initials with Sarah still standing tall. Sitting beneath it, she pulled out her phone, scrolling through old messages. Sarah's number was long deleted, but the ache remained. What if I reach out? No, she's moved on. But the will stirred old longings for closure, for love that didn't end in exile. That evening, a knock at her door. Emily, holding a bottle of wine. "Truce," she offered. They sat on the bed sipping Cabernet, the alcohol loosening tongues. "I missed you," Emily admitted. "But I was scared. Dad was so angry." Rue's eyes welled. "Scared? I was terrified, alone in the city, crashing on friends' couches." Why didn't you call? Rue asked, voice trembling. Emily shrugged. I thought you'd hate us. Hate? It's more complicated, love twisted with betrayal. As they talked, Emily revealed Dad's secret therapy sessions, his journals filled with regret. He wrote about wanting to apologize but fearing rejection. Rue's heart softened slightly but suspicion lingered. Why is Emily pushing this narrative? Is she hiding something? The conversation turned personal. Emily confessed her marriage was crumbling, financial strains mounting. The will helps us all, she said, but her eyes darted away. Rue's mind whirled. Does she resent me for this? The drama escalated inwardly. Trust versus paranoia. Sisterly bond versus self-preservation. The next day, Rue met with Hargrove privately. This hidden will supersedes the public one, he confirmed. But contesting it could tear the family apart. Tear it apart? It's already in pieces. Driving back, Rue stopped at a cafe journaling her thoughts. Dad, your gift is a double-edged sword. Wealth I don't need but validation I crave. Yet it forces me to confront the void you left. Evening brought confrontation. Mom found Rue in the study holding Dad's journal. You shouldn't read that, Mom snapped. Rue exploded. Why not? He left it for me. Words flew. Accusations of abandonment, defenses of tradition. We were raised differently, Mom pleaded. Differently? Love isn't a tradition. It's human. Tears flowed but no resolution. Rue stormed out, driving aimlessly, her inner voice a cacophony. Am I fighting for scraps of affection, or should I walk away? Returning late, she found Emily waiting. Mom's upset, Emily said. But I found something else. A letter from Dad to you unmailed. Rue read it. Rue, forgive an old fool. I see now your love for Sarah was pure. Come home. The words pierced her. Come home? But home rejected me. Yet, a spark of hope flickered. Perhaps reconciliation was possible. As nights blurred, Rue's emotions deepened. Longing for Sarah resurfaced. She searched online, finding Sarah's profile. Divorced, living nearby. A message? No too raw. Instead, she focused on the family rift. Jack confided in her. Emily's jealous. She thinks Dad favored you in the end. Favored? After banishing me? The betrayal stung, sister against sister. Climax built subtly. At dinner, Emily accused. You're just here for the money. Rue recoiled. Is that what you think? The argument escalated, voices raised, old wounds reopened. You left us. Emily shouted. Left? I was pushed. In the heat, Emily revealed. Dad wanted to cut Jack and me out more, but I convinced him not to. Convinced? Manipulation? Rue's world tilted. Was Emily the architect of this hidden drama? The inner conflict peaked. Forgive or flee? She chose confrontation. Why sabotage? Emily broke down. I was afraid of losing everything. Afraid? We're all afraid. In that vulnerability, a crack of understanding appeared. Yet, the night ended in silence, Rue alone with her thoughts. This family is a minefield, but maybe, just maybe, we can navigate it together. The emotions weighed heavier. A prelude to greater storms. The revelation from Emily hung in the air like smoke after a fire, choking Rue's every breath. Sabotage? Her sister's confession replayed endlessly. I told Dad you didn't need the money, that you'd moved on. Moved on. From the family that discarded me like a broken toy? Rue paced the guest room, fists clenched, her inner turmoil a raging sea. How deep does this betrayal go? Emily, my blood, twisting Dad's guilt to her advantage. Morning dawned with forced civility. Mom busied herself in the kitchen. Pancakes sizzling as if normalcy could erase the fractures. Jack, sensing the tension, suggested a walk. Let's clear the air, he said. Along the leafy streets of Fairfield, leaves crunching underfoot, Jack opened up. Emily's always been the golden child, but Dad's favoritism shifted after you left. He obsessed over making amends. Obsessed? While I struggled in anonymity. She felt threatened, Jack added. Threatened by my absence? The irony burned. Rue's mind spiraled. Dad's change, was it real, or influenced by Emily's whispers? Back home, she confronted Emily alone in the garden. Why manipulate him? Rue demanded, voice low but fierce. Emily's eyes flashed. Manipulate? I protected us. You waltzed back after years expecting handouts. Handouts? This is atonement for exile. The dialogue crackled with drama. You chose your lifestyle over family, Emily shot back. Lifestyle? It's who I am. Tears streamed as Emily confessed deeper. I envied you, free in the city while I stayed caring for them. Envied. While I cried myself to sleep, homeless in spirit. The exchange peeled layers. Emily's resentment stemmed from her own unfulfilled dreams. A marriage in shambles, dreams of art school abandoned for duty. Rue felt a pang. We're both victims of this family's rigidity. But betrayal cut deep, could she forgive? That afternoon, Rue drove to Sarah's old house, now hers according to social media. Heart-pounding, she knocked. Sarah answered, surprise etching her features. Still beautiful, with long auburn hair and those green eyes that once held Rue's world. Rue, she whispered. They sat on the porch, coffee steaming. I heard about your dad. I'm sorry. Sorry. For him or for us? The conversation unearthed buried feelings. I was scared, Sarah admitted. Your dad threatened to tell my parents. Threatened? Another layer of dad's control. Rue's inner voice ached. You left me to face it alone. But Sarah continued. I regretted it every day. Divorced now, realized I was hiding too. Hiding. Like I did for years. Tentative sparks flew. Shared glances, lingering touches on hands. Romance rekindled subtly, a balm to Rue's wounds. Yet guilt gnawed. Am I betraying my healing by revisiting this? Returning home, Rue found Mom waiting. We need to talk, Mom said, leading her to the living room. Photos of Rue, long hidden, now on the mantel. Your dad collected them from friends. Collected? Like mementos of a ghost? Mom broke. I failed you too. I should have stood up. The admission cracked Rue's defenses. Failed? You watched me leave. Emotions surged. Forgiveness teetered on the edge. But Emily interrupted, face pale. The lawyer called. Someone's contesting the hidden will. Contesting? Rue's blood ran cold. Who? Anonymous tip, Emily said, but her avoidance screamed guilt. You? The suspicion ignited. Did you do this? Emily denied, but the lie hung heavy. The family imploded, shouts, accusations. Jack mediated. Stop. This is what Dad feared. Alone that night, Rue's monologue intensified. Betrayal from all sides. Dad's belated regret, Mom's silence, Emily's envy, Sarah's return stirring chaos. Why fight for this? But the will symbolized more validation of her identity. She messaged Sarah. Need time. Sarah replied. I'll wait. I never stopped loving you. The next day, Hargrove arrived. The contest is from a family member, he revealed. Eyes turned to Emily, who crumbled. It was me. I was angry. Angry? At my existence? The confession unleashed floods. Emily sobbed about insecurities, fears of abandonment. Rue's heart twisted. I know that fear, it's what drove me away. In the drama's peak, Rue chose mercy. Withdraw it. We share everything. But inwardly, pain deepened. Forgiveness costs me pieces of myself. Mom hugged her. You're stronger than us. Stronger? Or just numb? As tensions eased, Rue and Sarah met again, walking hand in hand along the beach. This could be us, Sarah said softly. Us? After all this? Romance bloomed amid ruins. Kisses under the pier, whispers of futures. But family shadows loomed. The emotional weight pressed harder. Rue journaled. This inheritance isn't money. It's the burden of mending what's broken. With Sarah's support, she faced the abyss, humanity shining through cracks. Yet a final twist awaited. In Dad's journal, a note. Emily, protect the family, but let Rue in. Protect? By betraying? The layers of deception deepened the drama, pushing Rue toward a precipice of decision. The journal's words seared into Rue's mind like a brand. Protect the family, but let Rue in. Protect from what? From me? The betrayal from Emily wasn't isolated. It was woven into Dad's final wishes, a tangled web of love and control. Rue confronted the mirror in her room, eyes red from sleepless nights. How much more can I unravel before I break? The inner conflict raged fiercer. Loyalty to blood versus self-preservation. Romance with Sarah clashing against family chaos. Emily avoided her all morning, But Rue cornered her in the kitchen. "Explain this," she demanded, slamming the journal down. Emily's face drained. "He meant well. He worried the money would divide us." "Divide us? It already has." The dialogue escalated, voices trembling. "I did it for us," Emily cried. "For us? Or for you? You were gone, we suffered too." "Suffered? While I rebuilt alone." Tears mingled with anger as Emily revealed her depths. "Dad was dying, confiding in me. I panicked." "Panicked into betrayal?" Rue's heart ached. "We're mirrors, both scarred by his rejection. But the pain cut deeper now, emotions rawer. Forgiveness feels like surrender." Mom intervened, her voice frail. "Enough. He wanted unity." "Unity? Built on secrets?" The family gathered, air thick with drama. Jack proposed. "Split the trust equally." "Equally? After my exile?" But Rue nodded, inwardly screaming. "Am I erasing my pain for their comfort?" That afternoon, Sarah called. "Meet me." They drove to a quaint cafe in New Haven, Yale spires in the distance. Sitting across, hands entwined, Sarah shared. "I came out after my divorce. It was hell but freeing." "Freeing? Like the chains I broke alone?" Their conversation deepened romance. Stories of lost years, dreams rekindled. "I want to be with you," Sarah whispered. "With me? Despite the mess?" But doubt plagued Rue. Is this timing fate? Or escape? Returning home, she found Emily packing. "I'm leaving," Emily said. "Leaving? Running from guilt?" "I can't face you." The plea in her eyes stirred pity. "Don't go, we're broken but fixable." The confrontation peaked. "Stay. We talked this out." Emily broke. "I resented you for being brave." "Brave? I was terrified." In vulnerability, bonds mended tentatively, hugs, apologies. But Rue's monologue intensified. Healing hurts more than the wound. Night fell and Rue slipped out to meet Sarah under the stars, the same spot from their youth. "My family's imploding," Rue confessed. Sarah held her. "Let me help." Their kiss was tender, laced with years of longing, romance amid turmoil. Yet, inner whispers. Does love conquer betrayal? The next day, Hargrove finalized. Will uncontested, funds shared. But Rue discovered another secret. Dad's donations to LGBTQ causes in her name. Anonymous. His quiet amends. Emotions overwhelmed. "He did change for me." Yet, drama surged, Emily confessed more. "I hid letters from Sarah years ago." Hid? Sabotage of my heart? Fury erupted. "Why?" "Emily. Jealousy. You had passion, I had duty." "Jealousy? Destroying my chance at love?" The betrayal's depth crushed Rue. "Not just money but my happiness." She stormed out, driving to Sarah's. "Emily intercepted your letters," she revealed. Sarah's eyes widened. "I wrote for years. Years. Lost to envy." Together they cried, then laughed at the absurdity. "We found each other anyway," Sarah said. "Anyway." Through pain's forge. Romance deepened, plans for a future away from shadows. Back home, Rue faced Emily. "I forgive you, but I need space." "Forgive? It tastes bitter." Emily nodded, tears flowing. "I love you, sis." "Love? Twisted but real." Mom shared her own regrets. "I enabled it all." "Enabled?" "By silence." The family circle tightened, humanity emerging. Flawed but striving. As days waned, Rue's emotions peaked. Joy in Sarah's arms, sorrow for lost time. She proposed to Sarah under the oak tree. "Marry me." Sarah. "Yes, yes." Amid ruins, hope. But the will's true gift revealed. Not wealth but catalyst for truth. Rue thought. "Dad, your legacy is this messy, beautiful reconciliation." The story hurtled toward resolution, emotions a torrent. Love's triumph over betrayal, humanity and forgiveness. Forgiveness hung precariously, a thread Rue clung to amid the emotional maelstrom. Emily's final confession, hiding Sarah's letters, had ripped open scars Rue thought scabbed over. How do I rebuild trust when it's shattered so profoundly? She pondered, staring at the ceiling. Sarah's steady breathing beside her in the guest bed. The night amplified her inner agony. Family love feels like a trap, luring me back only to wound deeper. Morning brought resolve. Rue gathered everyone in the living room. sunlight streaming through windows like a reluctant dawn. We end this cycle, she declared, voice steady despite the quake inside. Mom nodded wearily. Jack squeezed her shoulder. Emily averted eyes. Dad's will was his apology, Rue continued. Apology? Insufficient but a start. We share it all, no secrets. Emily whispered. I'm sorry for everything. Sorry. Words cheapen the years stolen. Yet Rue hugged her. I know. No. The pain lingers, but so does love. With funds divided, Rue donated half to LGBTQ shelters, turning personal hell into communal haven. The act soothed her. Purpose from pain. Sarah moved in temporarily, their romance a anchor. Walks hand in hand, dinners filled with laughter. You're my home, Sarah said. Home. After exile it feels fragile. But drama's echoes persisted. A call from Hargrove. All clear. Clear. Wounds scar don't vanish. Months later at Dad's grave, Rue stood alone first, then with family. You tried, Dad, she murmured. Tried? Late but sincere. Emily joined. We miss him, miss. Complicated grief. The gathering turned reflective. Stories shared, laughs amid tears. Jack. To new beginnings. Beginnings? From ashes. Rue and Sarah's wedding was intimate, beachside in Cape Cod. Waves whispering approval. Vows exchanged. Through betrayals and returns, I choose you. Choose. Freely finally. Family attended, Mom beaming, Emily maid of honor, Jack toasting. To love in all forms. All forms. Acceptance blooms late. Yet inner peace eluded briefly. At the reception, Rue reflected. Betrayal forged me stronger, humanity in our flaws. Years on, Rue ran her nonprofit, Sarah by her side, family visits warm. Emily remarried, happier. Bonds mended. The hidden will's legacy. Not division but unity through trial. Rue thought. Life's drama shapes us, romantic, painful, profoundly human. In quiet moments she whispered to the wind. Thanks, Dad, for the push toward wholeness. The end came not in tragedy but hopeful humanity. Love prevailing, scars badges of survival.